Okay. All right. How you doing? How you doing? Greg, Commander, everybody, Hip Hop United. We are here today, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm making it, dealing with it as it comes. It's a little rough, but I'm dealing with it.
There it is. Well, introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, I'm Mr. Greg Commander. I'm born and raised in High Point, North Carolina, a small city in North Carolina. Um, I grew up with brothers and sisters, two brothers and two sisters. I had a mother and a father in the home all the way up to my 19th year of age. Lost my mom in 1989 to aneurysm, and I ended up in the penitentiary from the streets. I ran the streets after my mom passed away. I got connected to the streets and tried to survive and do what I can, and ended up in prison, serving a 18-year sentence in the federal penitentiary all over the United States. And I'm back here on the concrete now, trying to make a way. And hopefully later on we get in this conversation, I'll tell you a little bit more the transition of how all that took place and what took place in between there.
Wow. So sounds like you had a very, very, challenging life, but you on your, path to, overcoming obstacles. And because I'm looking at your one sheet. It says from violence to drug dealer, gang leader, prisoner to now motivational speaker. So, tell us your story. How did you kind of briefed me a little bit. It all started when your mom passed away, got into the streets. Is that what led you to the streets?
Well, that's what led me to the streets. When you look at a lot of dealers, people that's in the street are doing a lot of things in the streets as far as the violence, drugs, stealing, breaking in, or whatever it may be. It ain't always caused by a person just as criminal minded. I wasn't a criminal minded individual. I grew up my mother and my father, as I told you. I was telling you, I grew up my mother and my father. My mother didn't even believe in me doing crime. I couldn't even smoke weed or drink beer around my mother. And I didn't let that happen while my mother was living. But when my mother left us to raise ourselves because my father left home. Once my mom passed, she was the breadwinner. My father, he was a hustler. He'd get in the street and pour concrete, put in windows, mop floors, steal a tire, whatever he can do to make ends meet. But my mom was actually holds down a job, and she took care of everything. And when mom passed, my father left home. When my father left home,
Father left home after your mom passed?
Yes, my father stayed in the house like one night during the wait after he fell asleep, got drunk and fell asleep. So we had to raise ourselves, find our way. We not even used to paying bills. My mother paid all the bills, and we wasn't used to no one.
How old were you? Mind me asking when this was going on?
I was 19 years old.
19? Okay.
When I lost my mom, I was 19 years old when I lost my mom. But I was like a young cub. Being raised in the house and not in the wilderness because my mom left. I didn't know how to survive for my own. I didn't know how to make it on my own because my mom was paying all the bills. My mom bought my first car.
Okay.
So so my mom passed, we were trying to figure out how to do it.
Got you. So you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have two brothers. One of my youngest brother passed away. God bless his soul. And I have another brother, Kevin, who actually did 18 years in prison with me. He was part of my conspiracy. So me and my brother was taken, into custody and ended up in prison to serve a long sentence, 18-year sentence in prison after my mom passed away and after my father left home, And that it really was a low blow. It was heavy on me. But I ended up in the streets, after my mom passed away, trying to find a way to survive because we were threatened by the landlord that we'd be put out the house because my dad promised he would pay the rent to the landlord, and after he got this insurance money from my mom's death, and he never did it. We got an unexpected knock on the door from the landlord, threatened to put us out if we didn't have our money by a certain time. And I had no time to go look for my father to tell me a lie, why he ain't paying and stuff. So I went to the streets and ended up, selling drugs and hustling and trying to make a way to keep a roof over our head.
Wow. Well, I'm sure that just when was your when did you get out?
I went to prison in 1991. I didn't get out to 2008.
Okay. Okay. So from 2008 until now, we're in 2021, almost 2022. How has life been for you? How has the transition been?
It's been strange and I'm glad you asked that question, because a lot of people don't understand when you do a long sentence in prison, being a man, being a stand-up, being hard, holding yourself down, going through what I went through, losing my mother and my father leaving the home, and I had kids out here on the street, and going to prison. It was very hard, and it was a drastic blow to me mentally, physically, and spiritually. Um, Trying to make sense out of this at a very young age, trying to make sense out of this, all happened at one time. And, being in the streets hustling, and that carried something in the mind automatically, trying to learn to survive in the street and protect yourself. And at the same time, you need to make this money to pay your bills, to get a place to stay. And now you're in prison with all this, with your mom gone, your brother locked up with you, along with 9 other men. Don't know what they're gonna say when they get in the courtroom, and or they're gonna put you in deeper than what you are. It's a lot of things that comes in the mind of a person. I was experiencing every one of them, and some, and a lot of people wouldn't even understand what I was going through. And when I speak of, you'll notice I always say people, because when I speak for a mass of a people. It's just in me. God had blessed me with a message for the world, because this message is for the world to know that it's so many of our kids that going through what I went through. Not saying that we condone it or excusable, but it's the fact, it's the truth. It is what it is. And this was, as me as a young man, I'm telling it from a place, man, that if you haven't been there, if you have not been through anything, you never can really fully understand it. You say, why didn't you get a job? Why did you go to school? Why you went to work? Why you didn't do this? Why all this other stuff? But I'm being for real with it. I'm giving you the real. And this is as a young man. Not only that, I had a young kid at a very young age. I was like 17 years old, I had my first child, and I put my child in my mom's lap. And then my mom told my mom I was going to get a job. I ended up dropping out of school in the 8th grade. I dropped out. I failed the 7th, dropped out in the 8th, because I thought it was right that, I go out and find a job, which I never found a job. I found breaking in people's houses and stealing and robbing and all the other stuff, trying to find a job, never did find a job.
This is when your mom
End up
was
hustling.
5? When you said you were 17,
Excuse me?
you said you were 17 when you had your first child.
Yes.
So, and then she died at 19. So were you breaking in the home?
Died when I was 19.
So so in that 2-year time span, you were. So was there any other relatives that you could have reached out to for help, or?
No, in the mindset of my mom, my closest, it's strange. My mom and my dad, my mom and her sister married 2 brothers. And my mother and them stayed only 2 or 3 doors away from each other. My mom and her sister worked at the same job. So that's all I knew.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we had right there. We was all we had. We all we need. We all we had.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom passed. My aunt died a year later.
Mm. Mm.
And her husband and my dad both hustled together. So they ran, they both were living the same lifestyle, hustling. So they couldn't do really for me. They
So
really
basically,
trying
so
to do for
basically,
themselves, and I get that.
I'm sorry. So basically, you said you didn't really want to keep asking your dad because he wouldn't keep it real with you as far as, I'm gonna do it, but you waiting on him and he don't ever do anything.
Yeah, I mean, he said he lied about he was paying even though he wasn't staying in the house, he was telling us that he was paying the rent. He was paying the rent. We just had to pay the light bill. Me and my sister and my brother, we had that lit. But for us to, believe that he was paying the rent, we thought that so I ain't had time to go look for him and tell me another lie. Like, I
Right.
paid it and no didn't pay it or whatever he wanted to say. I didn't want to hear it.
I understand absolutely. So like I said, I know that must have been just, a heartbreaking experience. Now I see that you're now a motivational speaker, and I see that you've had an encounter with Stedman. How was that experience? Like, did he, guide you into the right, to any type of leads that could, help you along the way?
No, it's not. It's not that a lot of leads. A lot of people sit down with me. They're so impressed with my story and my person who I am today, from where I've been and what I've been through. It's like the story with Moses. I don't look like what I've been through. Or you hear people in church talking about that. And I really didn't. They get so interested in my conversation, and God had blessed me with a vast amount of information on so many different levels and terms. I know a lot, and I can sit down with the best of them and hold a conversation, and they're very impressed with my conversation when I speak. So people get so caught up into what I'm saying, and they just start, just talking and talking about what I should do and what I can do and what I ought to do and what they can do. You can reach out to me, and I listen to a lot, but I take in the most of all what I get from STEM or anybody as I listen to their wisdom and knowledge on how they made it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how to make it. From this point on, he may not know what I'm really going through because I'm still actually going through. You asked the question, how long it took me to grasp on to what was going on in society. I'm still grasping. I really am because I came home with an agenda to help the world, help the community. So I never really had a regular life adjusting to find out what it is to be a man in society and just living, get a job, go to work, blah, blah, blah. No, my work has always been to help the world. I've been in this situation for a long time. God won't allow me to, I'm just one of those persons that he wouldn't let go to do what I do. I'm still focused on after 13 years of being out today, I'm still doing the same thing. I ain't been on a regular job probably about a year after I got out, but God kept me on this quest to do what I do. So I felt like my whole mission is not just a physical experience. It's a physical experience. It's a spiritual experience that I got to go through, and I got to work hard to make it happen and to save the world and save the community the best I know how.
Have you been in touch with your dad since you've been out?
Oh yeah, I got in touch with my dad passed away now. So I did talk to my dad, and my dad he left home, and I felt a little bitter from that. When he wasn't there for me and my brother while we was incarcerated. But my dad, come to find out, my dad was strung out on crack cocaine at the time that we was waiting on the rent to be paid. So that was the answer to why the bills wasn't paid. Not that he just didn't pay them. He was spending his money in drugs. And that drug can take you a lot of places. And a lot of the people are not responsible for the action because the drug is they become their new teacher, become their new mother, become their new God. And it's above everything and everybody. And I didn't understand that as a young man, but now as I grew older and knowledgeable what I learned as I travel and teach today, that he had a problem. it's just like no other problem, any other problem that somebody have, alcohol or whatever your addiction may be. It's just it's no different. So I forgive my father. Actually took my father fishing. Did other things with my father, but I say we don't make mistakes. You know, it's just something that I suffered because at the time I was young. And as I got older, I started to learn to forgive and not forget, but to forgive and to learn to love him anyway.
Right, I understand. Now, you said that you haven't had a regular job since you basically got out. Is it something that you've always wanted to do career-wise, that this particular situation that you were, in prison has prevented you from doing, or are you actually doing what you like to do now, is being a motivational speaker?
Well, it became a love because the love comes with the desire to change and to see my community change, to see my people change, because we were suffering because, like the word of God says, our children perish for the lack of knowledge. And I feel like that I had it. I had some of that knowledge to talk about. Like, we don't talk about everybody want to stop the violence. Everybody want to stop this and stop that, but they don't have the wisdom and knowledge to implement the change. They still, since I've been home, they still try to figure out, what we're gonna do to stop violence. And if it was so all this technology, why you think it'll be an answer? There is no answer. It's only a person that been there, been through the travel, can speak from the platform that I'm speaking from, and to talk to the core of a man, and not at what he's done, not the fruit of his labor, but let's talk about the root that caused the tree to be what it is. And nobody don't know how to talk about the root because you're not a tree, you're not a seed, you're not a criminal, you're not a convict, you're not a thief, you're not a robber, you're not a dope dealer, you're not a gang. Never been, I never thought about it, and you curse it when you ever heard it. So how can you ever get it? Like when Jesus spoke, he said, I have to become a man for me to understand man. So he came in the likeness of a man to the world. So until a person ready to become one of us, or one of the individual, or one of the things, a dealer or a gang banger or a thief or robber, they'll never fully understand how to serve it or give an answer for it. It might be kind of deep what I'm saying. I know you get it. I know you get it, but that's where I'm at with my heart, and that's where I'm at with change. That's where I see it. And I see why the problem is getting more deeper and bigger. So much violence, so much going on, so many kids entering in gangs, so many people's incarcerated because nobody's just actually working on the cause of the problem. They're dealing with the fruit or the tree, cutting the limbs down, and they're still producing fruit. As a matter of fact, they produce more fruit when they grow back. So I'm that one that goes into the core and talk about the root of things. And I'm that root because I'm that individual. I'm the same individual that you look out here every day, but nobody's coming to me and ask me, say, what got you to the point? Now I'm pushing people to understand, like, you need to go ask him. He been there, he knows, he lived that, and nobody's investing in it. Nobody's investing in it.
Okay. Have you gotten any other support from like your communities? Because I went to your Facebook page, as you stated. I went to your Facebook page. I see that you're doing a lot in the community, and I'm sure you want to take the agenda that you have laid out worldwide. You want to be the voice to the people that have, are on the path to just basically, screwing their life up because they don't have anybody, they don't have any positive role models in their life to speak to about that. So I'm sure you want your agenda, your movement to, touch the world. Have you been getting any support, for that, to move across the world and just, motivate people who are going through those types of struggles?
Yes, I have had some opportunities and got into some serious places to be able to help some people. But it started off with me knocking on the door. I didn't ask for money. I came out here asking for an opportunity to save. I'm that person that had a passion. If you notice, I'm passionate about what I'm saying. Even when I talk, I don't talk normal. I don't just, oh yes, like I did this, I did that. I get real, I get up here a little
emotional.
bit.
You get real emotional about it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, because it cuts to the core, because I see so many of my people suffering simply because nobody knows how to talk to them, or they always talking at them or talking about the problem. Nobody's talking about, yo, this man comes from a broken family. This man come from when he suffered from losing his mother or his father leaving home on crack cocaine. This man, but you look at the world, look at, oh, he's just a criminal. He went to prison. Like they said, I would never change. I changed all the stereotypes. I have not been in the court. I have not been in no trouble. I ain't been in nobody's house, breaking in and stealing and robbing. I've been out here now 13 years on the positive path of doing what I had in my heart was to do right. I'm a commander. That's my last name. And I had to live up to being a commander. That's what I try to do every day. When I went to prison, I had an 8th grade education. Like I told you, I dropped out of school to go to work. I dropped out of school, had an 8th grade education. I went to prison, got a GED. And from a GED, walked out the penitentiary, walked into a university, and got a bachelor's degree. And then God blessed me to go back into the prison when I did work a job. I worked with WRLP, a liaison project, where I was working with reentry, going back into the prison, teaching a 16-week curriculum, having guys transition, building a bridge from inside prison back to society, helping these guys transition by finding them resources and teaching them how to function as a convicted felon, because I was starting to learn how to do it. I'm not going to say that I mastered it, but I was learning how to do it. And one of the ways was I had to change my ethic. I had to learn how to speak. I had to get that slang out. I had to know how to knock on doors. I had to know how to fill out an application as a convicted felon. There's a lot of stuff that were following up that I had to teach them, that I had learned, that you just can't fill an application out like normal people. You have to properly fill out your application because you are a convicted felon. How to answer the box 13, I'm a convicted felon, why, and what reason, and what was it? And you got to know how to answer that, not just say, oh, I did this, or I bank robbed you, or I killed 5 people, or I sold dope, I did whatever. But you got to know how to explain that without, causing problems that you don't make it to the interview nor make it into the job. So
wow,
I had to go back and teach.
Well, your story is very interesting, and it's very similar to what I've been hearing, other stories from similar situations. I just got off set with this TV show called Life Therapy. It comes on TV One, and they have people who have similar stories that submit their stories, and then they talk about them on, to the world. So I if they have a season 2, I'm most definitely, your story is interesting enough to even go on that. And so you can get some more exposure to spread the word about what you're trying to do and trying to save lives. It is called Life Therapy, and not only, and you said you're still going through it, because
Yes.
no one knows how long it's going to take for somebody to heal coming from that type of situation. Nobody doesn't know. So, and the name of the show is called Life Therapy, and is hosted by AJ Johnson. She's a life coach, and she helps people such as yourself deal with just situations that they went through in the past, and to help them cope with similar situations. So you definitely, it seemed like you should definitely qualify to be a candidate on the show, and that way you can get some more exposure about your story.
Yeah, and now that you say that, right? Like, for the therapy the therapy is every day. I'm having therapy now that I'm talking to you, that I'm able to get my voice out there and let people hear it from the core. The core is bigger than me just, oh, I sold dope, I went to prison, I got a GED, and I went to college, man, now I'm out here doing positive things. It's bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's way bigger than that, because despite of what the person doing, his accolades and attributes and things that he have accomplished since he been home, he still suffer because it's not only what I'm doing, it's the way the reaction of the people who look like me, the same color as me, and God knows what the Europeans, the way they treat me, as being a convicted felon, you still suffer. Then I'm light-skinned, so I already got 2 or 3 different prejudices against me always. So it's and I'm trying to adjust and be able to be humble and at the same time understand them why they in the condition that they in and thinking the way they think, and pretty much why a lot of our peoples are convicts and thieves and robbers now, because they've been rejected, put down, despised, and all this other stuff. And that leads them into a world of their own, or a world of their kind. And you'll find the Bible talks about a wide path and a short path. You'll find so many people that travel this path. They travel this path, so you easily fit in. You're comfortable on it, rejecting other people, talking about them, putting them down, but nobody has no answer, trying to find the core to the problem and the situations. I'm the one that comes to talk about it. Yes, I'm a small individual, a little person way back over here in the cut. Yeah, like you say, what good could come out of Nashville? What good could come out of High Point? What good could come out of penitentiary? Well, it's a man that God have touched, showed, taught, trained, and tried, and ready to come out here and try to uplift fallen humanity and show them the core of a man that I suffer within myself. But at the same time, it's my healing, because I'm talking to you and I'm talking to other people, and they're opening their doors. They give me TV shows and people to express my wisdom and my knowledge. That is my healing. That is my therapy. Because once I can do what I love to do and be the one that saves, I feel like I am the chosen one. That's why I'm supposed to feel. In order for me to make a difference, to make a change, I have to feel that way. And that's the way I feel. So I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to build this platform so the world can hear the core and the heart of a criminal, a thief, a robber, a dope dealer, gangbanger, thief, whatever you want to call it, convicted felon. I'm coming from a place that even some of the people that's going through it, who came out here telling their story, can't tell it from the place that I'm telling it from, because they don't even know. Because until you get down to the core, that it's a lot deeper than my roots and my trees and me hustling and surviving, trying to take care of my family the best way I know how. I couldn't find a job, so I had to go to hustle. It's deeper than that, is where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place that, I mean, I'm a student of my own conversation. I'm a student of my own testimony. I am a student of the path that I'm on. I'm a student every day. I'm thinking new. I go in a lot of daydreams with thoughts coming to me like, listen to this, Greg. Look at that. Look at that. Check this out, Commander. Look at that. The reason why you think that's going on because of this. But you're on the right path, Commander. Don't feel swipe backed off or feel like you're not getting or rejected. They just don't understand. They just don't understand yet. But don't put them down. Don't talk about them, but uplift them. Find a way to share with them. Find a way to get the word across to them, that they come to understand that they will become one of you. Because every convict I hear, go ahead.
Tell us about your your platform. Like, as far as, does it have like you have a specific name for this platform that you're creating?
Well, I had created Commander Peace Academy. Commander Peace Academy is an organization that I came up with, and it's just what it says. We're building commanders, meaning commanders, leaders, and chiefs.
Right.
And peace is the acronym for peace. The acronym for peace is proper education always corrects error. And what I'm giving now is proper education. This is proper education that so many people, not only the convicted felons, the thieves, the robbers, or whoever, but it's for everybody to get proper understanding, to get proper teaching. So it'll correct the errors that we have in our community if we get the proper teachings that we need to know about these individuals and how to deal with these individuals, this new generation. We talk about in the young schools, we'll be the first to say, you old school, we young school, new school, and old school. But I deal with everything in threes. We got the young, you got the new school, we got the old school, and we got the school. I'm coming from the school. The school where we all have to listen and learn.
So that's your next phase of just what you want to do next? Just have this school. Is it just one school? You want to just have like a wide variety of schools all over the U.S. or how do you what's
well the academy is not a place. It's not a place. Everywhere I go is my place. There is no building that I have right now. I don't have a building or nothing. I'm a BOG. I'm a boots on the ground. I'm all in the crevices and the corners, down in the mud and the dirt, down in the crack house, the crack spots, all down there where they're dirty and nasty at, where nobody don't want to go. I'm in hostile environments and stuff. I'm in places where where guns was heavy. I'm out here on the street with the homeless out here in the cold. When I go to the store, I can't buy for myself. I had to buy for other people. When I got one piece, I had to buy one piece for the streets. When I go to the store with $10, I come out with nothing, just buying one soda. What happened to all my money? I had to pass it out before I leave out and knew I had to give it out. I got changed before I came out. It's a place that nobody understands. It's deeper than... Go ahead.
I can definitely see though, just by your story and people reaching out to you, I can actually see, and this is just my vision, I can see someone actually creating a platform, well, not a platform, but just creating a situation for you to possibly, open up an academy where people can come that have went through, obstacles in their lives, such as yourself, to get that teaching, get that, that healing, get that, just get the foundation that they need, that mentorship,
Yes.
that you're doing. I can actually see that. That's why I was just, when you said academy, I'm like, well, is there already a building in place where people can go and get that type of help or that inspiration that they need? And you said no, but just as you keep telling your story and you keep letting people know what you're trying to do, I can actually see something like that happening to you.
Well, I thank you for that, sister, but that's why I have to talk. That's my therapy, because when I created the Commander Peace Academy, it was created a long time before I thought of it. So I'm creating my future. My future is always that I wanted an academy. I wanted a boxing gym. That's what I wanted. I wanted a boxing gym because I grew up as a boxer. I was a boxer, and I wanted to get, I wanted to have tutors and a place where they can come in and study. And I don't want them just up there and learn how to box, but I want them to actually get educated on top of it. And I was going to get tutors from the college to come in and tutor these kids while they train. And hopefully we may even find a champion out the deal at the same time, because they love to fight anyway. Mm-hmm. They take their anger out on, on each other. Why not just take it out on a bag or trying to win something that can make them successful?
Well, you're on your way. You're on your way. You got you definitely on your way, and just speak it into existence.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the tongue is a powerful weapon, so just
that's right.
Speak it into existence. Now, you pretty much explained the whole movement. Where do you anything else that you trying to promote that I guess that I didn't ask you about or I didn't see from what Travis sent?
Well, like what what I'm saying, and it's painful and it hurts when I see that so many people pay so much attention and give so much of time to things that is irrelevant to life, relevant to change. It's like, I don't know, Country Wayne, right?
Who?
You know Country Wayne got
Yeah,
the
comedian.
part he do the
Yeah,
Country
he's
Wayne.
comedian. Uh-huh.
Yes. He doing skit, and I'm not knocking him for what he do. I'm not, by far you see the brother doing something productive, and I admire that. He found an avenue, something he can do. But most of all, he found something that the people love, and they just like to see stuff. He loves to see people. He caters to people that is nosy, people who likes drama, people who likes, whatever. But to find people who invest in real things that healing, that change lives, and to heal souls, and to answer questions, to unanswered questions. Coming from that dark place of incarceration, gangs and thieves and robbers and drugs and addictions and all that, people pay very little attention to. I'm not saying that they don't do to all, but I look at a lot of these celebrities now, they get all this big platform, they get all these followers and people riding on them, and something like this, what we're talking about, they look over like, oh, they talking about this. Yes, we're talking about this, but just stop and just listen and see where we're coming from. And I just want to find a way. It's so unique that God works with me in a way. Like I said, I don't knock them, but I'm trying to find ways to get them to stop and say, let me check this out, what he's saying. Because I know once I get you to listen to what I'm saying, you're gonna tune in. You're gonna be in there. You're gonna share. You're gonna want other people to know, because I know. But I don't, like I say, I don't stop because I don't talk about people. I try to figure out how to fix it and make it work. That's what I do. And with this academy that we're talking about, yes, it's in the making. This academy is a boxing club. I'm thinking that it will be a place and a platform for people to come and grow, and for families to prosper. And I also thought about a crisis center for our people, because we all are going through some type of crisis. And I believe that I got what, like I said again, I believe I still have what it takes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
because one of my mentors told me when I came to the city, he brings in all these actors, actresses, NBA, NFL players, and all these people speaking these schools. But when he heard me and heard my story, he said, why spend all my money investing in these people to come to the city, to come to the schools, to talk to these kids and talk to these people in the community, when you're not even gonna get one or two of them out of the school that's gonna be actors or NBA players or football players, go on and do something like the people I'm bringing in, but it's going to be a whole lot of people like Mr. Commander. So, Mr. Commander, I like when you come from where you're coming from, most kids can tune in to adults and kids can tune into you, because they're all coming from that same place.
Right. Well, that's why I was telling you about the show, Life Therapy, because it's a man who was on there. He was on 2 episodes ago, or 2 weeks ago, and he was locked up for 18 years for something he didn't even do. But he let people know what he wanted to do, and then they heard it, and they got him, offered him like the tools to get him to doing what he wants to do. Like, he wanted to be a truck driver. They wrote him a check to get his license to get started, like stuff like that. So just whenever you talk to people, just definitely let them know what you're trying to do. And you just never know, one of those people that you're speaking to, they might come back around, and next thing they might be chipping in to help you out and get helping you get to that next level.
Sister, the strangest thing about it though, and it's amazing that when I came out here, and what I do, money wasn't even my symbol. It was the people. It was the suffering people. And I don't put nothing in front of the people. And I know I need funds to survive. I need funds to make things work and do it the way I need to be done. But it's more about the people. You know, listening to you right now, you know, you inspire me, and this is much richer than money can buy. It's just that you believing in me, because somewhere in your heart, you believe in me to be saying what you say. And that's enough to make me keep fighting, keep striving to work harder and to go harder. I had to study. I had to read. I had to stay up at late at night and get literature information and stay on top of the game because I want to save our people. I'm a doctor in what I do. I know I'm a doctor, and I want to come in here and do what I need to do as a doctor. You know, when you come to the hospital, you have someone that's going to check your vitals. Somebody going to check you in. The same one check you in is not the ones that going to check your vitals. Then you're going to send the one to check your vitals. Then they're going to send you back out into the emergency room or wherever you at in the lobby. And then you're going to come back there, you're going to see a nurse, and they're going to take you through this and that. And then the doctor don't come in until the end. But he says some of the most important things, how to heal you, how important is what you need to do. And that's where I feel like I'm at. And that's why I play my role in the equation. That's why I can't put people down, because everybody's playing their role. But when they come to the doctor gonna give you prescriptions and tell you to return back at a certain time. And that's why there's a lot of people walking out before they see the doctor, because they don't think they're sick. They don't think they hurt. They don't think there's nothing wrong with the way they do things or how they do things. They surviving until the doctor get to talk to you and tell you, yes, you're doing that, but I'm gonna tell you, you're dying. And if you don't do what I'm saying, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. And that's where the point I had to get to the point and a platform to be able to share that part of the society, because they got all this there with the vitals and check-ins, and they got all these nurses and people looking at. They have done that in this world, but now they need someone to come in and give them a prescription how to do it. And I believe that I have it because I'm not yet heard, and I believe that what I have, and working with people like yourself, Travis, and everybody that Mr. Paul Lassard, who saw something in me enough to put me through a course of a class and go through this and to teach and to give to the world. Because I don't owe society nothing. You hear people say that they owe society. I don't owe society nothing. I did 18 years in prison and had 10 years probation. So I don't owe society nothing. I give this candidate from my heart because of my desire for my people to be saved from that destruction that they're headed to. That's what I fight hard for. I don't owe nobody nothing. I feel like they owe me.
Oops, your video went out. There you go.
There's a phone call. A phone call came in. That's why I hated to be doing on my phone.
Okay.
This interview on the phone. It's okay though. We doing good. God is blessing us.
Right. We're wrapping up. Well, yeah, it was definitely a pleasure to speak with you and for you to share your story on my platform of Hip Hop United, because my platform, I deal with people every day who've been locked up. So if people actually they have similar stories, like I said before. So I'm definitely used to it, and my platform is one of the ones that they come to talk about their situations. But I was telling Travis, once season 2 comes around for the show Life Therapy, I'm gonna definitely see about hopefully getting your story pitched to the second season, because we're still in the first season now. Well, the show just came out in October. So
okay.
October or the beginning of November. But but when it comes to the second season, season 2, if they have a season 2, which we're hoping, I can most definitely pitch your story so you can get this work. You can keep getting the word out, and it's people from the Breakfast Club who looks at the show. So I already know if your story gets on there, they'll hear about it, and you just never know what it could, where it may take you.
That's right. That's right. Well, I thank you, Sis, for everything that you're doing, and I tip my hat to you because you're a conduit to bring in life. And your situation where the position you're in right now, you was put there for a reason. You were crossing path for a reason, and that's just to take things to another level. So just know that we're both here for a reason to make a difference, a change in this world, because God chose you and chose myself to be the ones to make this happen. So we on the beginning of something real right now, and I truly believe that what I'm teaching and what I'm saying is so powerful that it's gonna come a time for the world to reach out to it, and because they're looking for answers. And right here on your show right now, you have part of those answers right here with you right now, and I know you do. And I know I know I got part of my answer right here, talking and having this interview with you right now. I know it's part of my, the blessing of change. And I think for this, yes, and know that you have a high position. It may not be look like from the next person, but you in a high position, because I know if you got me before you right now, it's not no coincidence. And I know it's an honor and a pleasure to be before you. And I know together we make a powerful couple of doing what we do and making a change and making a difference. So again, I thank you for giving me a place to sit down and to share and to give part of myself unto you, because this is my healing. This is how I heal, when I'm able to share and to talk, and somebody else to hear something different from me, what I have to offer as a doctor and what I do. You get to hear it from a different perspective. And I like to say, you hear a lot of stories similar to mine, but I feel like what I have to offer, I mean, you getting it right now, and it's fresh off the press, and it's good for the ear, and it's good for the heart, and it's good for the soul, and it's good for change. And if it's good for all that, it's good for our community to change.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, like I said, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Leave everybody with your social media handles and how you can be reached.
Well, everybody, I'm Greg Commander. You can Google me, Greg Commander, and read a lot about my story. Right now, I'm just on Facebook, but I'm trying to open up the avenues to get IG and all the other stuff that come with it. I'm not as savvy with a lot of with technology, due to being incarcerated so long and away from technology. But I'm learning, and hopefully through this program with my sister, that we'll find all those avenues for me, the IG and all that stuff, and we can get a great following where people can get to hear the truth and the word. But right now, I'm just on Facebook, and I have a phone number, 336-991-3524. It's a public number. Everybody knows my number because I get a lot of calls. But my number is free. Again, 336-991-3524. And my Facebook is Greg Command. That's Greg, Greg, Command, Command. And it's not Commander, is Command, Command. And you can reach me. You can see some of my work. And I'm doing a lot of things that you don't see on there. But hopefully we'll be able to put a lot more my resources and things that I do out there for you guys to check out and follow me, and hope we can get something new going.
There it is. There it is. Well, definitely, hang in there, and like I said, just speak everything into existence. And again, I do appreciate you for checking in and taking the time to speak to Hip Hop United.
Thank you so much.
No
And
problem.
it's truly been an honor and a pleasure to be able to converse and share with you and your audience. So, and then you can let them know also I said thank you.
No problem. We'll do. And I'll have this up on the website as well. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Be blessed.
You too.